Ah, Smart Water. Pure, crisp taste.
That's really good water.
It's the kind of water that says, I have my life together.
I do feel more sophisticated.
Smart Water. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
Breathe deep. Imagine your legs more limber in Duluth Trading Double Flex Denim. Envision euphorically squatting for that can of suds. Bending for your toolbox in a state of bliss. Lunging for your laser level on a whole new level. Relax and allow the flex to fill you with ability. Find your inner flex in Double Flex Denim only at Duluth Trading.
Welcome to Worse Than You with Mo Fry Pasick. I'm Mo, and every week I'm asking today's most captivating artists how they got their act together. This show isn't about their best or most famous or most lucrative work. It's about the work that means the most to them, their creative process, and why they make their art. This week's guest is an actor, singer, and comedian from Tacoma, Washington. She's a Second City main stage and CBS Diversity Showcase alumna. And you've seen her on shows like HBO Max's South Side, ABC's Abbott Elementary, and NBC's Shrink. We're giving network. I love this. And all of your favorite dropout programs, including Dimension 20, Burroughs End. Please welcome to the pod, Rashawn Nadine Scott. Ready, set, show!
Hi.
Hi, Sean. It's so nice to be here with you.
So good to it's good to be had. Thank you, Mo.
Say that. Oh, I want to start saying that.
It's good to be had. Child, if only.
Say that. Can I say that?
Say that.
How are you doing today?
I am good. I'm coming off kind of a whirlwind. Not whirlwind. I'm using such
I love it.
Big language already. Whimsical, wondrous, walloping. I started a new job. It is leaning into my creative side for sure, but it's more like admin-y stuff. So I've been in a lot of like training meetings about like workplace safety, which is good, things that we should already know, but it's like...
And I had a sexual harassment training and I hated it.
So annoying. But yeah, I'm kind of in like a transition. I'm going to be working in the classroom with some second graders, which is really exciting. So I get to kind of transform this classroom into whatever I want because the teacher's like, I don't put anything on the walls. It's whatever. And I'm like, oh, you got free paper and pens? I can do whatever in here. So I made like a galaxy behind the teacher's desk. I've done some bulletin boards. Just like trying to like trickle in any little gay phrases I can in the boards in the rooms.
Oh my God. Can I tell you, that's my favorite thing to do. Back in the day, I think my volleyball team had to, I'm not joking, help at the Vacation Bible School summer camp. Okay. And my favorite thing was to be like, okay, I'll teach this section of the Bible. Pretty gay, right? Like, it's like, well, you're making me teach it. It's like,
water
well,
to
intimacy,
wine, kind of
say
gay.
that, transition. And the intimacy of male friendships are incredible. And you can find intimacy in many ways. And this is an asexual person.
They're all wearing beautifully handmade sandals.
Stunning. And in fact, they're presenting a little femme. And these poor kids come home.
But I've learned so much. But it's been fun in that aspect because I can use like my creative, like all my improv, all my performance stuff. I'm like, oh, all of that I will be using. So all of these skills, I knew that they were applicable to like most jobs. When you learn in like the improv 101 class you've taken, when there's a bunch of like marketing people in there who just need to learn how to, talk in front of an audience.
My favorite is when a bunch of agents send their like boring models who like have never had any like on like, and they're all like, yes, and you're like with the most stunning, tall, thin wave you've ever seen. And
and you're like, I haven't had to be funny. Or they're
ever.
Have you ever had like a really beautiful person go, you look so funny?
Oh, the way, not only you look so funny, just the euphemism, like you're so random, and you're like, what are you trying to say?
She just told me I was Humpty Dumpty, and she kicked me off the wall and said, "You did it to yourself." You're like, what? Oh
it.
my
yeah.
God. Like,
But back to your point of like,
yeah.
it's that thing where you laugh at that because you're so there for comedy and what you desire to do. But then you realize like, oh yeah, these are applicable skills that really help in other environments.
Yeah, when I thought I was like, oh, I'm in such a box. Like, I really can only be on the stage or on the screen. What can I possibly do? And you're like, girl, stop.
In fact, everything better.
Truly in everything. You've been like prepping for playing in the world this whole time.
Yes. Oh, well, I laughed because there was a This American Life in 2013, I think, about how this man was using yes and with his mom who had Alzheimer's. And my great aunt had Alzheimer's. She passed away, not of the actual condition, but when she was like really not there, I really took that to heart and used all my improv training. So when she'd retell a story or start a story, it was like, yeah, totally. And blah, 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 blah. Like it wasn't as much as this heartbreaking experience and we got to be so connected. And it's like the comedy is everywhere in the most healing ways.
Yeah, I forget who said it, but there is humanity in humor. Like literally how you can get an audience to really understand the hard stuff that you want to talk about is to get them to laugh first, or realizing that like what I thought was like, oh, I'm probably just going to be like a personality hire. You know, like I'm the comic relief
to teach children.
To teach children, yeah, like hey, but then like you're in this kind of real world community of people who need a little chuckle. I'm serving so much more than I thought. Like I needed to actually like be back with other humans. Like I needed to get back into Gen Pop because I was so saturated in my own. You know, when you get around your own artistic friends and it's like. We're all in this point in our career where like, yes, we're certified. We know that we're hysterical. Yes. But when you're out there in the, like with your family members or your friends from back home who aren't necessarily going through that same exact journey with you, who like don't see beyond the fourth wall, but we do. I think being back in like Gen Pop, I will find a better word. I don't want to say
better because remember back in the days it used to be Muggles, and so
yes,
like
I wanted to say Muggle, but I was like, don't say Muggle, don't say Muggles.
But so Gen Pop is great.
Being back in Gen Pop, it lets me know like, oh, I needed to be out here to know what I need to be talking about. I mean, when I think I'm playing at the top of my intelligence, there's a lot that you really don't know, Rashawn. And like
you
being
learn
okay with being like, okay, there's more for me to learn. I don't necessarily know everything.
Well, not true, but no. But
Mo said
it. But to this point, like, so you are a comedian, you are an actor, and I'm excited for folks to know more specifically about your work. But to this idea of Gen Pop, when your identity is so based around your creative output, was this a big choice for you to start working a more sort of a job that feels more Gen Pop, that isn't on the stage? Like, was this a process of you having to do some internal therapy work or questioning, or was it just like a drive, what you're saying, of like, I'm thirsty for more inspiration and less enabling, and it worked with money and time to get out?
A little column A, little column B. Like, yes, I felt I was working with some of my peers, people I knew, to like get me into this of like, okay, these are applicable skills. You can do this. Oh, I actually like this environment of people. Oh, I'm being challenged. This is great. Oh, and I'm getting paid consistently. You know, let's be real. Like we're at a time and post-strike, not post-COVID because we're in it. I don't like when people say that. But like, we're in the kind of the wild west of it all, and I was like, I need to make some active changes. And also, what was I doing when I was hustling the most in my career? Back when I was in Chicago, I had a job outside of working at Second City, and I like busted my ass to that job every day because it kept me grounded. Yes. Let me know what was going on outside of this world. Yes, the routine. And it's different that I don't feel like this is going to get monotonous because I am problem solving every day. Things are new, things are different, but they are not unachievable.
Sure.
Because sometimes I think I was just looking at the grand scheme of like, okay, got to get a series regular. I got to do this. And then I'm going to do this. And then I got to take all these pictures. I need to go to the thing. And it's like, okay, yes, these are applicable things, but like, I was just seeing the mountain and not,
And it's so much of it is literally out of your control. So then we are forced to think like, well, no, if you take the right headshots and do the right things enough, it is in your control. And it's such a self-gaslight.
And I also think that of myself as like a QB1, like a universal quarterback of like, when I get involved in a thing or in a team, I like try to put everything into it. Your producer was saying that they saw me in Mamma Mia but Different, which is a ridiculous, wonderful show. All the songs are ABBA songs, but it's Mamma Mia but different.
Heaven. It's very self-explanatory.
The first one I did was Mamma Mia, but it was like in a wax figure museum. Like this girl runs away to Hollywood to like have the Hollywood life. She works at a Madame Tussauds factory, falls in love with the son of Madame Tussauds, and it's all to the music of ABBA. And this last one was like a punk rock musical.
So for the listeners, is this all improv based with the same team doing it every time? Or is this like...
Each time they do a Mamma Mia but Different show, it's written by someone completely different. So they different styles. They did a Christmas one. They did a Oops All. They did one where everyone was Meryl Streep.
Perfect.
It did it all. So they have a different director each time, and the cast like rotates and changes. So I really enjoyed it because one, it felt like did you ever do one of those 48-hour theater festivals?
Sketch crams or
yeah. It's written that day, but it's obviously not written the day. But it's like we got to put the show up on his feet in 2 weeks, and it was like, you come up to rehearsal, you just swing for the fences because you only have 3 or 4 rehearsals to get it done.
And the preciousness has to be gone. Yeah.
Yes. And there's a point you're like, I don't think I'm going to memorize all these words. Jesus Christ. There's so many. I've never heard this ABBA song before, but now we're singing it a punk rock way. And I just learned the way this Europop band did it. It seems impossible, but then there's something that takes over like the theater brain where you just latch onto it. I had like a huge monologue in the beginning of the show, like opened it, and I was like, if I can memorize this, I can put anything into my brain. Like I needed to like reteach the sponge muscle tool in my brain to like absorb words.
Yeah. Well, and it's reminding yourself that it is almost always circumstance that are your obstacles, right? Because it's like when the circumstance calls for you to be on stage and have it memorized, it's memorized. Done. Whereas any other time, it's kind of like, oh, I can't. I need more time. I need to do this. Blah, blah, blah.
I have to hold this script in my hand. And I was like, just put it down. You know it. And if not, just say freaking line. No one's gonna, blow your head off for it. It's totally fine. But I feel like when I jump into a project, like this new one in the classroom, like Mamma Mia, like The Art of Falling I did years ago, or probably any production that I've been a part of, it's like when Rashawn gets in, she's like, in it.
I think that's interesting. I also find that as like the type A personality that is super creative, or maybe just the personality that is like good at figuring stuff out or whatever it is, that it is also hard at the same time when you're so good at being in a space and you become kind of core, when maybe it isn't necessarily who you are, but you are a leader in any space. So then it's that like balance of like boundaries. How much do I want to give, even if I can give? Like it's a lot to balance.
Yeah. Like what you said earlier, you mentioned performing or learning what the audience may want. I think that was kind of what I learned in my first times in Chicago, because I came from a theatrical background in school where we were doing like devised work, and it was all about the real and Meisner and very self like I basically was learning to be a theater ninja. Very serious stuff. And the improv allowed me to like bring some joy into that. It was very serious. And I learned to learn what they wanted. And that kind of stopped me from figuring out like what is my sense of humor? What is my point of view if I'm trying to write towards a Midwest audience?
Yes.
What does that look like? The jokes I tell uptown are different from the ones you tell downtown. And being on,
and bringing yourself to that lens still.
Yes. Yeah. And you're like, oh, they're not laughing at the stuff that I think is earnestly me. Who am I?
Yes. And it's like, what's the balance of finding your space where you're affirmed and also being able to be a person that can write stuff anywhere? It's like, oh.
Yeah. And that is like such an envious skill that I have of all of my like strong like writer friends who've written in different TV shows, satirical news things, or just like they can write to whoever, give them the log line and they can, bust it out. Where I need a little bit more time, I'm like, what are we talking about?
Icy Hot Pro with 2 max strength pain relievers. Targets multiple pain receptors. Ice works fast, heat makes it last.
Hello, Nigel here. I couldn't help noticing that you're still awake. Now, I'm an owl. I'm supposed to be up at night, but you need your sleep. So if it's your allergy symptoms that are keeping you up, here's a word to the wise. Try Xyzal. You see, Xyzal works fast to relieve sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat. And it keeps going strong for 24 hours, so you can get your sleep and wake up refreshed and ready for a productive day ahead. Be wise, all. Take Xyzal at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
We usually start with a too long didn't read about a project, but I really feel like we're going to get to your project. We're off to the races of your process. Mm-hmm. But I'm very interested that, you are, so in my perception, of course, an actor, but it's like you're so successful in comedy spaces. Mm-hmm. And, it's interesting that your trajectory sounds like it started by saying, like, I'm going to study this, I'm going to act or perform in this way. So, like, I don't know, did you not see yourself as a comedian or improviser prior to that, or was it just not available? Or
no, I knew I was going to be a performer. Like, as a child, I did lots of music. I did every like 5th grade play. Mm-hmm. No, it was 2nd grade, like Missoula Children's Theater. They did a production of Pinocchio. I was Geppetto's cat, and the rest is history. Like,
and nobody has forgotten that production. Not a single person in that room.
I'll dig up the photo, honey. Add it to the archives. No, but like, I just knew I wanted to be on stage. If there was ever a microphone, Rashawn had it. Like, my parents were very encouraging of, you had to play a sport, you had to try and do an instrument. I was a band kid, I was a theater kid. I was in student council. I had jobs. I was
Again, you're hitting type A pretty hard here.
Girl down, oldest and only sister. Say
that.
Look at this on the wall. Yeah. It's a portrait of me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
No, a friend painted that for me, but I think very highly of myself is what I mean to say. Oh,
that's beautiful. Are you joking? I've just gotten my play settled, and otherwise you'd be seeing an abstract portrait of me on the wall as well. So don't worry, birds of a feather here.
We're in good company.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted to perform. When I went to college, I thought I was still going to be playing an instrument, and then the theater department just like appeared to me, and I was so thankful that like, oh, the school has a really good arts program. I was in every show I could be in, student theater productions. Like, that's where I fell in love with improv, and I was lucky that in the community that I was at school and doing improv at, Ryan Stiles had his theater in the same area, so I was performing there. I just, like, once I get in something, I'm in it.
I hear you. Well, also, I'm laughing because in December, my best friend and I, Sudi, we went to Who's Live Is It Anyway, which is the Who's Line Tour Live.
Yes. Is Aisha Tyler the host, or is it Drew?
In the LA one. She was like, Drew had dropped in, and it was like, it was kind of end of the tour, it seemed like. And it was funny because it is like,
a lot of folks do use improv or used it as like a stepping stone or whatever, but there are folks like you who were like in it.
And it was like, this is it. No, this is the thing.
It was like so cool. We were I was like, oh, we're in a frat.
Yes, yeah.
And then it just became everything. And then my team moved to Chicago and started taking classes.
Your team moved to Chicago?
Yeah, I lived in a house with 5 dudes in Chicago.
In it.
We were in it.
So you moved from was it Tacoma that you were in the?
Yeah, that's Tacoma's where I grew up. 10 Things I Hate About You. You familiar?
Well, I was actually born in Seattle, so I got
okay. So you know Tacoma. Tacoma's just south. Yes. But I went to school in Bellingham, which is like 2 hours north of Seattle. But from there, I went to Chicago and spent 6 years there doing all the stuff, taking classes, performing. Like, putting in the hours, getting whatever that 100,000 hours they say. And
I'm sorry, Malcolm Gladwell famously says 10,000. And
I thought it was 100. Whoa.
Talk about excellence. The way you just said
Oh my God. That's wwhy I'm so tired.
So you're an expert at everything and so tired. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's so funny. You're like,
Could
as they
imagine
say, a million hours. No, you're good.
I need to sit down. Oh my God.
Yeah, you
I've
need
been
a
saying that a
water break.
lot to people.
That's so
That's
funny.
like,
And nobody's
100,000 hours. And no one has ever been like, whoa, you're working too hard, lady.
no one's been like, no, you're an expert. You're good now. You're like,
Shit. Great.
That's heaven. That's heaven to me.
But yeah, like that was just like the thing everyone like no one said, Rashawn, you need to go do this. It was like, oh, this is where you go to study. Okay. Which is like in my education bag, okay, I need to go here. You take the classes, you get on the team, you perform. Then what? You audition for things, I did the whole racket of stuff. But in that time, like to talk about a project that I was really passionate about was The Art of Falling.
Yes.
Because it was like my first big theatrical thing. Like no one knew me at Second City. I had done their like outreach and diversity program and then got tapped for this like new show where they were working in tandem with a dance company and a bunch of Second City actors and like putting together a show, but it was a musical without there was singing and there was dancing and there was comedy, so you're like, this is a musical.
Yeah,
but they weren't
I love
really...
when they repackage things and they just don't say, you're like, okay.
But it featured a lot of Bowie in it. It was
Oh,
amazing.
that's wonderful.
Yes,
That's
lots and lots of Bowie in there. But like I showed up and they had already been working on the show for like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
Wow.
So they had all this stuff and they just handed me a script and were like, things are going to change on the fly. And I'm like, so used to like, oh, what do you mean? The playwright writes it. You guys are done. And then we put up the play and they're like, no. Everything is going to change every day.
This is a boot camp. This is crazy.
It was. It wasn't like it's basically an intensive of a script that would change constantly. But we were like, I know this now because he told me years later, but there was a time where, and one of the actors was like, I was really not sure about you, Rashawn, because they were just like, we're bringing in someone to do the show. You guys don't know her, but we think that she's going to be good. And he would, had his reservations about me, but I came in and was like, okay, how old is this woman? Where is she from? What's her background? Like I was doing, what's her want? Yes, honey. I was doing her intention justification sheet and they were like, oh shit. Okay, well,
legit.
Let's give the kid a chance. So it was nice to kind of flex my like theater muscles at the time, but also being adaptive.
Again, back to that sort of preciousness that you have to let go of the thing you think is the thing.
Mm-hmm. And one, the like physically demanding dancing side.
So will you explain to the listeners what this is exactly, just if you're giving a breakdown of The Art of Falling, like what was it about? It's not a musical, but it is like.
The Art of Falling was a dance comedy show with vignettes of couples throughout the city of Chicago.
Beautiful.
And I played a woman, Ernestine, which I got to name the character. I named the character after my grandmother, who really never got to see anything I ever performed. So it was like, if I can do this one thing, it's as if she's here, which was cool. But I played this older woman who like is on a plane with a comedian who is like going to like a corporate gig or something. And I'm chatting his ear off. I'm that lady on the plane who's like, well, my son is taking me to go see Marvin Gaye and like all of these things.
Do you know him? Yeah, that
yeah, do you know this? I have a great joke for you. There's always someone who wants to tell you a joke.
Them.
And I was working with people that I really admired, like, oh, I saw this person my first Second City show ever. Like they were, wow, like my mind is blown by them. And then I was just a member of the cast. They just like folded me in as if I was there. And like, not that the starstruck thing ever like went away. Like I have such respect for them in that way. Yeah. But it felt like, okay, cool. I'm getting this. I'm falling in line, and they see where I can add things to it, which was really, really nice.
Okay. There's a hot take I have where sometimes I think when people are overly reverent or overly starstruck, I think there's an issue with self-respect because I go, you're bringing something to the table. And it is so exciting when I see people like you, right, who are like, adapt and obviously show reverence and like are grateful, but you're like, no, the reason I look up to you is because I want to do this and I'm excited to do it with you. And it is such a beautiful, in an industry that doesn't want you to be confident, right? Like, it's a beautiful acknowledgement of the confidence of like, I know I can do this, no problem.
Yeah. And why not me is really the mantra I've had for like ever.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. But everyone will tell you why not. That's why it's like, it's such a beautiful, or tell you like, oh, you're working with this person, you should do this, let them do this. And it's like, to appreciate someone is very different than to pedestal them, because to pedestal them stops your natural flow when you're, what is it called? When you're peers, you're like in the same performance together, you have to treat them with that or they can't do their thing. Like
totally. Like I got to do some musical improv years later with Wayne Brady, which was like,
you are naming the best. Oh my God.
Tell everybody my story.
Yeah, please. Oh my God,
like,
are you joking?
When I found out the day that I was like, oh, it's going to be with this person. Oh my God. Like in my brain, I'm like, okay, you need to calm down because you're still at work.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, we're just doing like an improv show that's, it's going to live in the ether and that, no one will see it ever again. But it was like, okay, this is going to be on camera. You need to be able to sing. Sing the songs, Rashawn. You can't just like stare at him and think that like, oh, you're watching. I was like, so I'm not, this is not TV. You're here. You're literally standing next to him. He is your peer.
And he needs you.
Yes, he literally can't go on without you. So it was again a moment of like, okay, we're both at work. We're doing our thing. He respects me. I respect him, and I'm the only one in control of this.
Heaven.
But back to Art of Falling, because of the things that I was like, oh, I feel good and confident about, like, okay, I know my lines. I can sing the song. Like, plant me on the stage, sure, I can do that. But the dancing, that was like we were really held to the fire as comedians, because there was one particular dance captain instructor who was like, only the dancers get to dance. Like, I don't want any of the comedians doing it. And we were like, whoa, it's collaborative.
Excuse me.
We have to do something. And so just like that gave me even more guff of like, I'm going to prove to him that I can move this body. You think that why not me? My body doesn't look like their bodies, and I haven't trained the same way they have trained, but there are things that I excel in that they don't, and vice versa. So like, give me something. So we were able to get in a bit of those things. There's directors and all these people you have to go through, but I felt like it was such a triumphant thing of like, okay, I can manipulate my body in this space this way, means I can do this literally anywhere. And I think that was one of the biggest houses that I've ever performed in front of too, and it felt like, oh, this is nothing. And it's like, ooh, I felt deep cut. I felt did you see Beyonce's last tour? Did you see Cowboy Carter?
Yes, yeah, I did.
I saw the first show where she brought out Rumi, her youngest daughter. And there was a point where Rumi like saw all the people and got really excited. And Beyonce goes, uh-oh. She says, uh-oh, into the mic of like, oh, this kid's hooked. And I had that sort of like, I was already hooked. I was like 23 at the time, but also like, oh, baby, there's no stopping me.
It's such an important moment. And I really do believe in that, right? Like, it's like winning an Oscar can happen right now. It's a feeling that you have to give yourself. And, having the most success and joy and being in a room of, what is it, MetLife or wherever she performed, or like seeing it, that feeling happens now of like unbridled just desire and joy. And so to tell your body at that time, when there is so much capitalist or be humble or whatever it is language of like, you should be in constant awe and grateful and and can't believe that you're in those space, but instead you have this childlike joy of like, wait, why wouldn't I be in this space? And I'm having fun. Like, I don't need to worry about overly gratitude. My joy and my fun is appreciation.
And really, they want, like, humility is obviously there, but I don't want enough to like dampen me. There was a point where I was performing a lot in Chicago, but I wasn't doing anything for myself. And I felt like, I felt literally crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what is funny? Who am I? Who was I before this? I felt like I had so many hobbies and I felt like I was in so many things and I was happy and I was still able to perform and do things, but I'm getting bogged down in the one thing.
Yes.
And it just became like not fun. So I had to like sneakily take like a pole class. Like,
see, I love this though because you were so committed to the feeling of joy, the feeling of what you're trying to get from comedy or like performing.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
How did the Art of Falling like end? Was it a run or was it?
Yes, it was a short run because it was so massive. Because it was using like old school music directors, multiple producers, and in collaboration with the Harvard Street Dance Company. They travel all over the world, so it was like we felt like, oh, seconds, you know, we're like little brother wanting to like tag along with them.
Yeah,
and I think I did maybe 2 weekends of performances and then it was over. And in that time I got like on the main stages. So I was doing other things.
Wow.
So it was like a nice like introduction into the world and everything. And then they remounted it in LA, but I was in the thick of it in Chicago and they weren't going to let me go and do it. I think they were trying to pitch it to like go to the Kennedy Center and all these things, but it didn't last too long and there aren't that many videos of it. So I think that's why it's so precious to me.
That's beautiful.
I think you can see actually. You can see my
really. Oh,
this
I
is
love
like
this.
Thank you cards and like the program and stuff like that when I was being very, very sentimental about it. And it was like, again, like doing like, it was theater camp.
It sounds like an initiation in many ways.
Yeah.
You know?
And I would love it if it got remounted, but there are so many other projects that I've gotten very much attached to. And if they ever were like, Rashawn, we're doing it again, I think I'd have to make a serious consideration like, oh, let me get back on the boards one more time.
Yeah, let's take a dust this off.
Yes,
100%.
yes. Get my Audra McDonald on.
100%. It is such a special thing. And I'm like, I like when listeners can hear, like, because it's so much like advice about creative process is always very masculine, very like, and I mean that in a non-gendered way. It's very like, I had this goal and I did this. And I kind of like a more gender queer, fluid, receptive advice or hearing stories of people who don't necessarily like follow the end one, this needs to be the goal, but follow the feeling of I want to be on a stage. I want to be empowered. And I'm curious in your life when you're, you know, moving to Chicago or going to the Ryan Stiles Theater, is there a vision board or intention of like, this is what I want and I'm having fun on the way? Or is it like really present? Because it's sounding very like immersive in that wherever community you're in and you're following that. So I'm just wondering, like, as applicable to people listening, like, was this a journal? Was this or just a feeling?
I think this is more a feeling. If I can liken it to anything, it would be like my brothers go and play pickup basketball any chance they get. If they can get the boys together, we're going to go play because it is just something we do. Just, you know, I got to get this energy out in some way. And it's like a pickup game to me of like, oh, I'm following the fun and the flow of it of like, oh yeah, that sounds fun to do. And it doesn't sound like a drag to like pull myself out on 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night, or like Chow, we were doing like midnight improv shows, which at the time was fun and cool because it was the vibe and everybody was out and it felt like I was a part of something.
That part's fine. The rest,
Yeah, like, and then you're like,
getting
LA
home sub-zero temperature. Yeah, like
yeah, LA is different because there's no subway or anything, so you got to drive.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was never like a journal entry of like, I want to accomplish all of these things by this time.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was just adding more crayons to my like, I was started, you know, at the 8 colors, and now I'm at 94 and I've got the sharpener in the back, you know, like I can play in all of these colors because I have immersed myself in all of these places. And I hope, I mean, people will let me know if I've shown up authentically as myself, because I felt like I had to be such a like poster child, company girl type thing that like I can be in those parameters, but still have Rashawn like pouring bleeding out.
Of course. And I think there is like that constant, it's being just any measure of quote unquote other of creative, already starting there, let alone race, gender, identity, sexuality. Like, so it's like, it's so interesting because not only, right, are you showing up authentically, but talk about lenses, you're showing up still through 1,000 different lenses. And it's so easy to like internalize.
Mm-hmm. And learning that Midwest audience, because that Midwest audience is fairly similar to my passive aggressive Pacific Northwest upbringing. Yeah. They're just not as boisterous as the people in the Midwest, but I found similarities between the two. I was like, oh, I speak this language. I grew up in predominantly white institutions my whole life. This is nothing. Again, I'll be fine.
Tacoma.
We're gonna go down to the Puget Sound and, you know, get some salmon and some coffee.
We're gonna maybe see some whales. That'd be nice.
Oh, that's nice. Let's go up to the peninsula. You been to Point Defiance? They got peacocks out there on the lawn.
But yeah, we were hiking up in Mount St. Helena's and we were
you know, it exploded a couple of years ago back in.
I heard about that. You know, my cousin was there. Yeah,
that's when they had the King Dome. It's called Seattle Center now.
The rest of the conversation's about that.
Which then they should be watching our play and they're like, well, they're just talking.
It is. But then it's so funny because it's like you are trying to get that person to laugh, and then at the same time you're kind of like, ew, I don't want that person to laugh. I don't care.
On Rick and Morty, your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Oh my God, yes. It's so funny because I didn't watch a lot of Rick and Morty, but then I'll see like the viral like memes of it, and that one I was like, that rules. That fucking rules.
It is great stuff. But yeah, I feel like I can still learn so much from other people in spaces. Like even that Mamma Mia thing, I was like, wow, everyone is an amazing singer. And it just like rolls off. It's just so effortless. It just falls out of their mouth. And they're like, Rashawn, have you heard yourself? And I'm like, I just showed up. Every day's, you know.
But I have a question. So now that you've established more of your career in self, and you are so like 100,000 hours, right? Like if you're going to do something, you're going to be the best. And I love that. I'm like a former athlete. You talk like an athlete. I love that mindset. And so, you know, you're talking about, you know, the same energy of like going to practice or going to play pickup. But I feel like it's easy to then perceive yourself a certain way, and if you're not what you want to be, like the best, it's hard to self-validate that you are excellent at something. And so is that like a practice, or is that like you do it and then someone says embrace this and so you follow that? Because it is for like, again, the Hermiones, not whatever, but it's like
for the Hermiones of the world,
you know, it's hard to say like, oh, I have this talent if you're not the best and you didn't put 100,000. And like when I was playing volleyball, I'm like, I wasn't that good, and then I say things and people are like, hey, whoa, like
yeah, like you just spiked the ball in her face and we won.
But it's, you know, it's like, and it's like, so it's both helpful because then you do become fucking incredible. But
yeah, there's always, I mean, when I do have those moments of like, I don't think I'm so wonderful, they send me honestly into like depressive feats of like, okay, I only know how to go through the motions. I don't know how to add anything else. And people already know what I'm going to do. So that makes me feel bad about myself that like I'm not growing or changing. And that funk would like live on me for a while. And I guess I learned how to play through the funk or not let people know that my funk is so
So is George Clinton.
Yeah. Oh God, that's my dad rolling in. For sure. Like he's such a funkhead.
I love that.
But I got depressed, and then I would come out of it and I'd be better, but these moments of down aren't as intense as they used to be. I think that's just from age and from like realizing there's lots of things going on in the world and I can only do for me. I can only show up for me. And if there's a day that I can't show up, then that's totally okay. Like people aren't going to be like, "Oh, Rashawn couldn't do it, so we're done with her." Because that's the mindset I had of like, oh, if I can't sing or if I can't be funny, there's really no need for me.
Well, you know what's hard is like, because it's like, I like people hearing this because there's so many like people that work so hard and then feel like maybe failures or shame for like the funks or depression or burnouts even.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, one, they're so real and inevitable and all of us experience them. But two, it's to me to validate, right, the you that has that belief.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is like, yeah, I just think people with like minds like yours or drives like yours are so brilliant. But those moments like myself that I felt the shame or depression, you want to be like, you're what, like those beliefs are serving you. Like all of that is wonderful and all of that is part of your perfection and served you in some way.
Yeah, and I want to say that I'm always open to like hearing that about myself and knowing that I can like fill the tank with these positive things. But when I was burnt out or really down, I found no joy in it. Really.
I know.
Which is horrible to think about, something that has really sustained my creative and sustained my brain and like my well-being for so long, that I think the very thing that I love to my core hurt me. Like I hit a wall and I was like, oh God, do I even want to do this anymore?
So the comedy you're feeling sad that the comedy hurt you?
Yeah, there were times I'm like, man, this thing that I really, or just being on stage, performing, like being under the lights, like that all became so overwhelming because it was like, okay, can I do anything else? I don't think I can. Oh, that's making me feel really bad. And, but eventually I get to these points in life where I'm like, oh, okay, I think everything's been going too well for too long. I'm getting a little too comfortable. Something is going to happen.
Yeah. The other shoe's going to drop.
Yeah, the other shoe's going to drop, or the shoe's going to kick me in the butt and I just land in the next thing.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's not. And I'm like, oh, I'm here. Okay, I do this. Oh, this is great.
Yeah. And to be specific or clear, I don't mean positively like you shouldn't have this. I think it's heavenly that people have. I know it sounds backwards, but I think it's heavenly that folks have those depressions and those burnouts, because it is such an affirmation of the things that are working against you that you shouldn't have to be doing or whatever. Like it's not literally like it's not a positive time or whatever, but holistically or more like zoomed out, it is such an artist who's so sensitive and has so many things weighing on them and having to do so much work. And to me, like what a holy reaction the body has of like, I don't find joy. Because it's like, you're right. Your joy is pure performance. It is not this grind or identity or capitalism.
Like start a business.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Why do I have to have inventory in my house? Oh, that just seems like
crazy. You're an artist. You should talk to flowers. Why do you have inventory?
But yes, I can see the beauty in being down in that way, because it allowed me to look back and be like, wow, I did a really good job. Because it was like, okay, what's the next thing? Like, yeah, we did it. That was so awesome. But like, don't we have rehearsal for something else that's coming up? That's where the grind is in there. But like, I had to be like, well, damn, I did a really good job. Then, the spark gets put back. But I had to really like be honest with myself and be like, you are depressed. And that is a thing that...
Isn't that the strangest feeling?
For someone who you're just like, oh, everyone finds you so joyful. And you're like, everyone finds you so joyful.
This burden is going to kill me.
And literally, I mean, around that time is where I got into like D&D. And I was like, oh, escapism. This is another form of performance. I'd already liked these type of games growing up, but like to literally start playing Dungeons and Dragons like started in Chicago. A friend, like, I mentioned it offhand. I'm like, oh, that would be kind of fun. He came with the player's handbook. We created a character, and boom, I was in. I was like, oh, another immersive thing that I'm getting the same kind of joy and like Tinkerbell sort of energy from. I'm like, ooh, this is nice. And then it transitioned into doing podcasting type things with other tabletop people, then the Dimension 20 of it all. And you're like, oh, this is an even bigger community of people, and I can still use all of my previous skills. And wow,
Yes,
I am adaptive.
Wow. And it feels good.
It feels good. It's a brand new thing. I'm learning so much. I didn't realize how many people this touched. I didn't realize how many people I have touched just by playing the game. Like, I was in Philadelphia for a music festival, and I'd never been to Philadelphia in my life. I was there with my mom and my brother, and a girl came up to me and was like, I loved you on that show. It was this, it was that. I'd never seen another Black girl like you on a show like that. And I was just like, trying to explain to my mom, it's a pretend.
But it's a validation you didn't know, like, you need it. Like, you're kind of like, whoa, me just being me?
Yeah, like, I affirmed you, and I was just there going through the emotions of I was again in another like theater intensive and felt so good and happy about it. And it's worked out for me like tenfold already just in that interaction with that person.
Heavenly. And like to themes, like my producer, when we were prepping for this, made a note in the deck that really struck me, because she was like, oh, you should ask because you're doing a performance while playing a performance, right? Like that is so many levels. And it strikes me because we're talking about these lenses that you're going through. And it's like, of course you're excellent at that because it's authentic still.
Yes. It's what they call metagaming when you're kind of like talking about the thing at the table, because in D&D, you're also like, you're producing, you're directing, you're
every brain
acting,
is online at once.
You're writing. And I love how it's just like, so lots of people, some people in my like personal game will like write a big long backstory about what they want their character to go through. This was their family. This was and I'm like, okay, she's a plant woman and she owns a business and there's a great drought and she's trying to figure out what that's about.
I love that you're just I'm her. Why do I have to figure this out? You know, like I'm living
I am her. Just ask me. Why do I have to write it down? That makes no sense. So a DM or like GM or game master will like present things to me, and it's happening in real time of like, oh, I like that. I don't like that.
Yes.
Or I could like, let's suss this out. So it's happening in real time. So it feel like it's immersive and you're invested in it. And it's joyful because you're learning new things, and you can have earnest reactions of like, in an improv scene, if you negate something, especially if you're playing with someone who doesn't
know how to play it.
Yeah, they hear one negated thing, they're like, oh, scene's over, can't keep moving on.
Yeah.
But like in your real life, you disagree with people, and then you still have to work with them for the rest of the day.
It is so fruitful. It is like, because guess what? You disagree with them for the rest of the day. Every footstep they take pisses me off.
Mo has got that good hate in her heart.
Oh, I'm so good at it. That's why I'm so light, because I got so much hate.
but yeah, like you're like you said, like you're doing everything at once, but it doesn't feel like, oh crap, I gotta write the script and I gotta storyboard, but it's just happening, just like your life is happening. But yes, you're this character, and then you're like, what does the character know, and then what does Rashawn know?
Yeah, and then what am I gonna tell that either of them know, and what do they know between each other?
Sometimes Rashawn gets ahead and she's like, I solved the mystery. Oh, I did it. Oh, I can't wait. And they're like, your character doesn't know that. You're like,
which is hell.
Hell.
But it's like also talk about like the magical as if in acting, and it's like, you know, in my Hamlet's hands of Stanislavski, you get to play a version of yourself that knows, that thinks you know, because you don't know, because this person doesn't know. So you can only act as if, and it is such an exciting, elevated evolution of all of your skills of like seriousness in the theater space, and then having to communicate that to a comedy space, and then having to translate that to a singing space. And it's like all these different versions of you having to still find a authentic core that is the words coming out.
And then also the socio-political stuff, because like the satire and like the real world complications that get like mapped over things in D&D. I'm like, oh my God, I understand this so much more than high school Rashawn, who was like, I don't know what's going on in the newspaper, guys.
100%.
I heard there's a war. I don't know what's going on.
Obsessed with that.
So
you're like, there's a war and I have improv practice. Get out of here.
So yeah, I feel like it's I've become as well-rounded as I hope I continue to. There are no like flat sides to me quite yet. I feel like the ball is like literally rolling for me all the time. So I think I'm in a good place.
No, you are. But I love how like it is a reminder when we have those periods where you're fully invested in something that like it's never like a one thing. It is all always going to continue to grow and evolve with you and be useful. And like to the point of you're saying in the beginning, like we're just like, oh, these skills are always applicable. And this is all going to be applicable, of course, talking to second graders. Do you know how many things you have to navigate of like what their parents are teaching them, sociopolitical, their feelings, like boundaries. And then you get to say like, I'm going to make you giggle.
Yeah.
Like,
you're like, let's talk about this while cutting out squares.
Absolutely. Heaven on earth.
Isn't that sick?
Yeah, doesn't that freaking rule? I like the way I remember when I used to nanny, especially in the pandemic, there was one video of mine and it was like, oh God, if you didn't know I was on the spectrum before, to watch me teach kids. Because it was like, I was like, you know how there's the video just burned in my mind because I was gardening with the kids. And they didn't give a shit about what I was saying. I was like, so this is a mushroom, which is a fungus. Do you know what the plural of fungus is? Fungi. Do you know how we say cars? And we say car. And I'm going, and mind you, these kids in my head are like, I'm learning the coolest fact ever. And then I watch the video back. They're just walking around me. They don't give a shit.
Fully not engaged, like, girl.
And heaven, I need
unless
that.
It's a song, I don't care.
Honey, I don't need you to talk about the plural of fungus. What? Like
they want to talk about oh my God,
a rock they found that was
K-pop demon hunters or whatever.
Oh sure, absolutely. I'm out of my depth there. Oh, I'm really out of my depth.
Baby, this summer it was everywhere.
Really?
The camp that I worked at has karaoke, and I put on a song for a kid, and they were like, whoa, Rashawn, what the heck is this? And I was like, what? The lyrics are right there.
Are they doing Korean?
Rashawn, I can't read. I was like, oh.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite thing you've ever done. That's incredible.
I was like, oh, I thought you guys knew karaoke.
Because they can talk. You forget because they can talk.
I was like, my bad, girl. Let me pull up the music video. She's like, I need them to sing along with me.
Cute.
I can't read. It's like, oh my God, okay. Let me get down on your level so we can all have a good time.
And that's good humility.
And hey, there's the button. Is there a jingle at the end of the pod?
Well, talk about the transition. There is a final segment that it is based in abstraction, which I think you might enjoy. But I like asking people because they all have different answers. And this final segment is called "Thank You for Holding My Poems," and it's based on the Russian poet Anna Akhmatova, who during the Great Terror, it was in Russia, it was illegal to publish poems specifically of resistance or art of resistance. And so her and the creative community she was in memorized edits of each other's writings. And to me, this is such a moving act to come to other people unfinished or feeling like, raw in your creativity and have it be held. And so for me, when I ask someone what a poem they might like to bring to the podcast or a poem that they've experienced, it can be a day when you didn't feel like your work was enough and you got a compliment from a barista and you realized that you just existed with other people. Or it could be the art of falling. It could be a painting that you did or a piece you did that made you feel incredible. But to me, a poem is just a creative moment that might be unseen that has sustained you and grounded you so deeply.
I know I've been talking about working with children like almost this whole time.
Well, great. You haven't.
Which is great. So something that happened over the summer, I work at a camp. There are lots of children. We have like a little bakery. Kids make croissants and cookies. So and
they laminate. They make croissants.
Yeah, they're making stuff.
Great,
they're making
great.
cinnamon rolls and things. And It's like, the daily work schedule, blah, 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 blah. We're doing the thing every day. There's this one kid, he's like 8. One day he was like, Rashawn, do you like cursive or like bold letters? And I was like, that's cursive. I don't know. Like doing, going back into the thing, like he just asked me a weird question. Kids ask you weird stuff all the time.
Obsessed.
Cut to Friday. This child has made a cardboard sign that says Rashawn's Bakery and had put it on these strings and had been like secretly working on it for the whole week and like included the other workers that were there. And he's like, I don't know if you would like it or can we like hang it up? And I tell you, I began to
I'm already crying.
I was just like, that is so nice. You have no idea what that meant to me. I didn't know I needed to see that. Like this was like, you took the time out of your like 8-year-old life. You found all of these things. You wanted to, make sure it was nice. And it was so, so beautiful.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, I want to make you another one for your garden. You say you grow vegetables at your house. And I was like, oh, my God, stop.
This is so sweet.
Just like, please, I said, please stay exactly like this for the rest of your life. You are one, like, brought me back to earth of like whatever I had going on in my grown-up life and my grown-up world was like, even though you're going through all of the muck, it seems right now, this kid sees you as like a work of art, like something like to be honored and to be, reveled in. Like you are making a difference in these people's lives.
Well, exactly, because it reminds you of the impact. Because those people when you were a kid who just like that teacher you're obsessed with or whatever it is, like how much they inspired you. And the fact that this is so clear that you mean something to this child in his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
even if I never see him again, he's like, oh man, Miss Rashawn. I remember when I was like 8.
I stay talking about Miss Barber. She was a student teacher for 2 weeks. Miss Rashawn is huge.
I felt that was like, oh my God, it really touched my heart. And like,
wow.
I was trying to like not let him see me cry. And then I was like, fuck it.
Oh my God. No, because
he
knows that action is received. That is so beautiful.
It was like the purest child.
That's that instant cry for me because it is such a pure, unadulterated. Just I want to show love. Like I love this person. I care, but they inspire me or whatever they call it. Like it's like that is heavenly.
But if like a guy was like, hey, I made you this cardboard thing.
I'll call. Yeah.
Where are my diamonds?
Yeah.
What are you doing? But this child really.
Well, my pepper spray's already out. If they did that, I was like, why are you making me?
Whoa.
Why do you know my name?
But,
oh, that is so heavenly. I appreciate you so much. I've enjoyed this conversation. I feel like a lot of people are really going to enjoy it too. Can you tell people where they can find you?
Absolutely. If you're interested in all things Rashawn, please check out Rashawn Scott on Instagram. You also check out my website, RashawnNadineScott.com. I'm also on TikTok, Rashawn N. Scott. That's random. You're going to get more information from my Instagram, but I got shows coming up, more tabletop type games coming out, and some live shows coming up, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everyone. I appreciate you, and I end every podcast with a compliment, the same compliment. But I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And please know I don't think of adjectives as gendered, but I say, oh my God, you're so pretty.
I believe you.
I really feel it. I really feel you're so pretty. I do. Oh, this has been so lovely. Thank you. Worse Than You with Mo Fry Pasick is hosted by me, Mo Fry Pasick. You can learn more about this week's guest and the Worse Than You team by checking out the show and episode copy. Worse Than You with Mo Fry Pasick is executive produced by Erica Ghetto, Mariah Gossett, and Lauren Mandel for Good Get and Disco Nap Productions. Oh my God, you're so pretty.
Is there a jingle at the end of the pod?